And if you're interested in learning more about Foundations Inc., you can follow us on social media, check out our website. Paula will make sure all of that stuff is in the chat for you. You might already know us from our signature professional development experience Beyond School Hours Conference, which is held every February. And this year we're going to be back in Orlando, Florida, February 9th through the 12th. And registration is open, so please consider joining us. It's an amazing time. Meredith will be there, definitely. And we hope you will consider joining us as well. So we are so thrilled today to have the amazing Meredith Scott Lynn, CEO of Bright Brain World, who is putting on a little more lip gloss. There she is.
Some lip gloss. Listen, are all of you gorgeous people going to turn your cameras on with us? This is not possible to do without cameras. If you've ever been to our webinars with Foundations before, we need you to just turn that camera on and be with us for just an hour, just 1 hour. And oh, look at you. You're absolutely gorgeous. Trisha, Tricilia. Let me see. I got to put my glasses on. Tricilla Tirado. I got it. All right. Wait, go ahead, Elizabeth. Keep going. Sorry.
Well, yeah. So Meredith is going to share some techniques to elevate students and staff equally. And she has a special guest that we're super excited about. The amazing CHERI Oteri is going to pop in and help us out today. So thank you, Meredith. And thank you, CHERI, for coming. Meredith, go ahead. Take it away.
Hi, everyone. Oh, my God. Hello, Mr. Bonner. Listen, Lina and Maria and Belinda and Ashley and Beth Marie and Nicole and Shanika and Hillary and Amy and Alice and Patricia and Heidi and Angela. If everyone can just be like, I'm in, even if you have to do other stuff, but your camera's on, that would be really awesome. We would so appreciate it, because what we do is, what we do on these webinars is all about connecting with all of you. And I'm really like looking at everyone all the time. Look at Dakota Dix. Like I'm looking and I see Anastasia's amazing smile, and I'm looking, and if I say something or someone says something and Catherine Thomas is like that, then I call it, like, we need to see you. And we do really fun stuff. This will be like a great way to kill an hour. That's what I want to tell you. But not only are you, how do I get rid of the chat box? Do you know how I eliminate it? Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Move it over a little. I'm just moving it over. Orange. Oh, I love this. Look at everyone who's here. This is fantastic. And Ellen doesn't have a camera, and Hillary's camera doesn't work. Listen, all of you who don't have a camera on your computer, tell your boss you need a camera on your computer. You need a new computer so you can go to webinars and become better at what you do. Tell them that. Just say, how am I going to get professional development without a camera? And then threaten to quit. And because they can't afford to lose you, you're going to get a computer. You're going to get a brand new computer. I'm telling you guys. I'm kidding. Michael Nicholson, thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. Okay, here's what I want to tell you all. The more of you that put on your cameras, the better. We're happy. But so many of you are here. This is amazing. Good morning, Tamika Chester and Lori. So how many of you know the actress and comedian CHERI Oteri? Hi, Donna. Go like this. Do you know what I'm talking about from SNL, from Saturday Night Live? You all know. Okay, great. She's going to join us in maybe 10 or 15 minutes or something. And for the last like 40 minutes of the webinar, we're going to do something fun. And whatever we do today, normally we do about 5 or 6 different things. And then we follow up with an email of the slides, the exact slides that we share with you here. Then you go use it with your team, with your kids, because every single thing we do on every single webinar always is as useful for team building and staff development. You guys are at a team meeting and you just do something from the slides. It's as good for you as it is for your kids. And it's, of course, developed for the kids. But the point of it is to literally be used for all of you at any time for any reason. So you'll get that afterward. So this time we're going to do one thing to start, and then we're going to do one thing for most of it, which is going to take a minute. but then you'll get it and you'll get to use it. Cool. And there's Sabrina in front of that same bridge in San Francisco that half the Zoom population is in front of at all times. And I love that you're not bumping each other off the cliff. All right, here we go. So here's what I want to do. Hi, everyone. There's too many of you, thank God, to say where we're all from. So here's what I want to say. It's hard for me to read the chat box as it comes up. And to me, it's like a little bit of a distraction for everyone if we're all focused and doing stuff, but looking at that. So what I want to say is put whatever you want in there, of course. But if you want to contribute, and I want you to, like, I could just say Lori Osber. Did I say that right? Lori Osber, you want to say something? It would help if you just unmute at any point and say, Meredith, can I say something? Or Sherry, can I say something? Or that would be great. Just unmute as opposed to chat. Is that cool? That way we're all together. And we're all here from all over the country. This is very excited. Mr. Bonner, seeing you here delights me to no end. That's important that you know that. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Does everybody have paper and pencil or paper and pen? Yes? Let's hold it up. Let me get my paper. Hold on. Does everybody have paper? Paper and pencil and pen and whatever. Get your pencil, Dakota Dix. All right, here we go. Let me share my screen. I've covered my screen just enough that you can't make fun of my all my icons. Okay, Valerie, can you see this? Okay, can everyone see this? Yeah. Can I introduce you, Valerie, right now? Val, will you go like this? Okay, do that.
Hi,
Everyone see Valerie?
Hello.
Introduce yourself, Val.
Hi, everyone. Well, my name is Valerie. I am Right Brain's education partner liaison and the executive assistant here. So following the webinar, well, in the next couple of days, you will get the slides and the resources that we're using today. So be on the lookout for my email.
Nice, oh God. And because she's telling everyone, and I like that we can all send her a little bit of love, Valerie is pregnant. And that's pretty great. I mean, it's great for her and her family. It sucks a little bit for us because she's gonna probably need some sleep at some point, but send her some love because we love her. Okay.
Thank you.
Dakota and Lori, can everybody see what's on the screen right now? Yes, great. And can you see this? Grab a pencil. Yes? Yes, okay, great. So the first thing I want to do is Poets Play. We've been doing it on the last bunch of webinars every time. It's so awesome, magical and fun. I hope this time Elizabeth will write with us. I know you will, Paula. Poets Play, it's a new game that we have here at Right Brain. For any of you who don't know, I'm going to really quickly, hold on, let me just get this. Sorry, okay. I just want to show you really quickly what we are. We're not here to sell you our stuff. So this is not a pitch, but to give context for the activities we're doing. We are in English language arts, English language development, project-based learning, social emotional learning, unless you're in Florida. And then we have no SEL, it's just character building. Are you feeling me? We don't say SEL in Florida anymore. Okay. And what we do, we have a lot of different programs ranging from narrative and creative writing programs where your students become published authors of original children's books to improv. We have a rap program. Sometimes we do webinars where you all break into groups. You write rap songs and perform them, and it's amazing. But the core of what we are is that your kids write children's stories, whether they're 5 or 15 or 25 in our adult ed program. They write children's stories with their mind on writing for a small child. They are creating for an audience of young readers. And so they're always, the prompt for them is always a colorful visual image, as opposed to a written prompt in most of our programs. And we have a poetry program and a journal program, so there are written prompts, but for the most part, your kids get illustrated children's books that have no words, they have lines on the pages. And then through any number of programs and processes, they write these stories, do storyline planning and character development and dialogue. And we disguise all of what they need for the test, basically, and the confidence, self-esteem, and imaginative freedom that they need to feel good and show up for tests, feeling like they've got something to give and say. And we disguise it in a program of children's book authoring, and then their books are published into really gorgeous hardcover and softcover children's books. So however old they are, they write children's books. And the books look like any gorgeous book at the bookstore. Their photo and bio is in the back of the book, and they are published authors, right? So that's what we do. This is a group of kids who wrote this book together at a charter school in Los Angeles. They write their own books, and they have a lot of resources that have colorful children's book images. One that we're going to share with you later, for which you're going to do something pretty great. And that's where Sherry's going to come in and help us out. Poets Play is a new game. We're going to show you, let's see, Lori, because you're right there. Would you just read this? And the reason I'm asking her to read it is because if you show this on a screen in your office, in a conference room, or in a classroom with kids, after school, in school, we would want you to say to someone, hey, would you read this? Carlos, would you read this? So Lori, would you unmute and just read what you see here?
What I see on your screen?
Yes.
It says right brain, engage and elevate
Oh,
students.
so you don't see it. I see it. Hold
No.
on. I moved the slides and you haven't seen it. So hold on a second. Here we go. You got to do this now on Zoom. Now you see it?
Now I do, yes.
Good,
But hold
great.
on, I have to slide hold on.
Sorry.
No, it says when the timer starts, you have 4 minutes to write a poem inspired by one of these 2 words. Ready?
Okay, so you get your paper. Here's the thing, guys. Don't think too much. Think a little bit. Don't overthink. Just put your pencil to the paper. I'm telling you, ask any one of the 50 people here who have been on our webinars before. It's crazy. It just comes. I'm going to give you 2 words. Pick one, read the definitions. I'll read the definitions out loud for you, or I'll ask someone else to do it, like Anastasia. And then you will pick one of those words. I'll set a timer for 4 minutes. You're just going to write a poem, whatever a poem means to you. It can rhyme. It doesn't have to rhyme. You guys know your kids would get more instruction, but you know whatever poetry feels like to you. Okay. So take a look. Take a look at these 2. These are 2 cards. With this package, with this program, you get this big stack of 300 cards. There's a word and definitions. So Anastasia, would you read the definitions, the words and the definitions on these 2 cards for everybody? Can you unmute and do it?
All that is real and authentic and important in the world. A fact that has been proven, statements or ideas sometimes difficult to accept.
Okay, and the next one?
Today, the present day or time, the only time to look for.
Okay, so the definitions are purposely not only right out of the dictionary. We've made them a little bit more magical, to be a little bit more poetic, right? I wish everyone would turn their cameras on and come play with us for a minute. You just don't even know how much I want that, but it's okay. I understand. If you are writing and want to throw your poem out to us after the webinar, we would love it, even if we can't see you and you can't share. But if you could turn it on your cameras, we would all really love it. Okay, here we go. I'm going to set a timer for 4 minutes. You must use the word somewhere in your poem. I'm going to tell you when it's 3 minutes and that you have a minute left. Cool? Ready, set, write. And I'm going to write with you. 1 minute. Keep writing, just keep going. 1 minute. Nice. Okay, take this moment to close up your thoughts, to finish up your little poem. Who, you got it? You guys done? Oh my God, look at all these people whose faces are not there. Oh my God, I want your faces so much. Okay, here we go. Are you guys sure you don't want to turn your cameras on? Morgan, Nathan, Maria, Ross, Angel, Brittany, Ellen. Ellen doesn't have a camera. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Who wants to volunteer first? I will stop sharing. So we're all here. Who wants to volunteer to share their poem? Otherwise, I'll just pick someone. I'll just be like, oh,
I could go.
Anastasia. Is that Anastasia? Who said they could go?
Sabrina.
Sabrina, where are you, Sabrina? Paula, do you see Sabrina and can you pin her? Is that how?
I'm in space.
Oh, there she
I'm
is.
on
I see
space.
you. I see you. Hi, Sabrina.
Hi.
Amazing. Okay, if you could read the word and then your poem, that would be great.
Okay. So the word was today, and I wrote a haiku.
Haiku. All right.
Haiku, yeah. So I put, I'm late to today. Today isn't tomorrow. How can one catch up?
Nice. You know, it's funny, right? Wasn't it? I got some snaps for you. Got some snaps from Shanika Peck. I am not generally a fan of haiku poems. However, I wasn't. We have a poetry program, and in it, we put this template where your kids fold them up and make cubes that we call haikubes. They put words all over it, and they make like a dozen or 25, and they make haiku poems from their haikubes. It's the only way I like a haiku poem until now, because I loved yours. Who else? Who's going to read? Are you going, Shanika? So Sabrina can.
Tranquetta is got her hand up.
Oh,
got her
great.
pin for you.
Perfect. I'm not seeing that. I have to go to speaker. All right, go ahead. Perfect.
Okay, this is my poem. I chose the word truth. Truth is, coffee is good to my soul. Each week the aroma fills this hole of sleepiness, dragging, and crazy work bowl. Truth is, somewhere in the world, priceless beans are sold to satisfy the souls in every nook and cranny.
Nice. You did that in 4 minutes? Woo! Girl, that's what you do on coffee. That's how you do that in 4 minutes. Oh my gosh. Bonner, I know you're going to write for us.
We've got Nadej. Is that how you say your name? I'm sorry.
Where is she? Oh, good. Nadej.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then after that, Rani Bonner, are you going to read for us? Yes, right? Okay. Okay. Let's go, sweet woman. What do you got?
Okay, so it was actually inspired by my devotional this morning. So today is the name, and it's also in the poem. Today is the day of salvation. Today I can be blessed, and today I can bless someone else. I embrace truth, I embrace life, and I seek to be everything God wants me to be in Him, through Him.
Beautiful. We love God, don't we? Sometimes we can be confused by what's he thinking? I'm kidding. It's never him. It's always us. Amazing. All right, Mr. Bonner, let's go. Do you see this guy, Paula? Do you see my friend Guarani Bonner right there? All right. Come on, Bonner. What do you got?
I'm unmuted.
Good morning.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. This is just something just off the top. Truth is, or truth was. In this world, the truth is muted. People try to soothe reality with untruths. This generation of youth needs to hear and see the truth.
All right, man. I mean, they do, right? But you know what? I don't know, like maybe later we have a discussion about which truth, like the truth of all the dark stuff, or the truth that we are all, source energy in physical form and God's got our back. I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know. I've taken a 2-year break hiatus from news, which is substantial for me because I'm pretty on it. And it's been kind of amazing. That was beautiful. I love when you write, my friend, and when you share. Your voice is so powerful. So I want to say that. Okay, here's the thing. Does anyone have a poem that they know we all need to hear and we should hear because it's pretty great? Because I hate that we have to move on. I hate it. So would anyone like to share, because it's going to be great for everybody and we need to hear you? Anybody? No burning desire? Okay. So I'm going to move on, but I don't want to. I want to hear everybody's poem. I want to hear Alicia's poem and Rhonda's poem and Jenny's poem. But we just can't, which I hate. We got to do a 2-hour webinar sometime, Paula, and people can snack and take a bath or something. Do you know what I mean? All right. So here's what we're going to do. Where's Sherry? Is Sherry back? Let me see if Sherry's here.
I do see her name on one of the screens, but her camera is off.
There she is. Fantastic. Oh my God, can we pin her, Miss Paula? So if you all go to speaker in the upper right, in your view, if you go to speaker, if we could pin Sherry and not Sweet Valerie, although I love you, Valerie. I love when you're pinned. You're very pretty. It's fun to pin you. There she is. There's Sherry.
My finger in my ear.
There you go. Put your finger in your ear, Cher. Fantastic. Okay. Do you all see Cher? Give her some love. A lot of this. So sometimes
I have been listening from the very beginning. I even wrote my poem. I was having so much fun.
Okay. Give us the poem.
All right.
What word?
Okay. Truth.
Amazing.
What you know from your core, not from your head, not from the memories in your drawer. Where your higher self lives, even when it's hard to accept, to acknowledge his place is always the right first step.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming, Sherry. We'll see you.
All right, see ya.
Bye-bye. Amazing. Okay, first of all.
I've got my coffee. I love the poem about coffee. It was just like, you know what?
Right.
It should be a poem about coffee.
Yeah, recently I was like, I'm not gonna have coffee this week. I'm gonna see, I'll have that fruity energy powder that's vegan and has all the minerals that I got from Dr. Duncan. And then I did a week and I was like, forget it. I went back to Pete's. I got my latte. Welcome back, right? All right, everybody, this is CHERI OTERI. And listen, where is she? Where's Elizabeth? Elizabeth, did you want to say a little something? Because I know you're a fan of Sherry's.
I am. And again, I just want to say thank you, Sherry. We're so grateful that you're here. I'm a big fan. And the fact that you have chosen to spend some time with us this afternoon is amazing. So thank you. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to the organization, and it means a lot to everybody who's online today. So thank you.
And here it's good morning.
It's my pleasure. And, I did an improv show last night to benefit Planned Parenthood. And it was all Groundlings women from the theater company that I'm from. And Meredith was there. And we were just talking about today. And it's like, she's been talking about right brain for so long to me. And I'm just like, all right, I'm in. I want to see everything that this is about. And I just I've been on from the very beginning. And I see what Meredith says. It's like, turn your cameras on, because when you see everybody, it really does feel like you're in a group.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm very happy to be here.
And Sherry, these people are from all over the country.
I
Like,
know.
everyone's from everywhere. It's pretty great. Everywhere. So it's very cool. Sherry, I love that you're here. Thank you. And to anyone, just so you know, at the end, like this ends at 10, right? But know that if Sherry's willing, I mean, sometimes we go a little long, and the hope would be that people could unmic, and if they want to ask you any questions or say hi, or that maybe you can stick around for a few minutes after 10.
All right, well, let's move forward so
I mean,
we can
11,
get
yeah.
everything that you want to get done.
Yeah, so here we go. Everyone has new paper.
Chatty Cathy, yappity yap 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 yap.
Get new paper and pencil. You need new paper. New paper.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody else. Okay, here we go. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to create some colorful characters and some colorful dialogue. And the reason I invited CHERI OTERI, who, if you've ever watched Saturday Night Live back in the day, if you've seen Scary Movie or any of the 50 million things Sherry has done, she is always 50 million, 49. She's always on point. Her timing is perfect. She's hilariously funny and a wonderful actress, but also she's a writer. And there is a craft. It's a real craft to writing dialogue. And what we have found at Right Brain, shockingly, with no professional experience or lessons until Right Brain, kids, high schoolers on down, they write amazing conversations between characters in children's books. They're not, and Sherry, I know you can speak to the critical voice in your head that this isn't right. And unless, as adults, we're so critical, self-critical of our creative output sometimes, and kids are not. And what I'm hoping is that in this experience, Sherry's going to share a few things with you about how she thinks about writing dialogue, creating voice for characters, and how to get out of your own way to just let it flow. So maybe you can do a little bit of that, Cher. Or should I, let me just show you first this image. We're not going to do it yet. This image, these are a bunch of characters at a table. Normally, you'd be writing a story for a children's book, but I'm going to leave it open a little bit today. Since we're all grown-ups, you can write whatever you want. This could be a book for anyone of any age. So don't be inappropriate and weird, but feel free to write however you want, not necessarily for a child. But when you do it with your kids, your students, this is an image from a children's book, and they would be doing this activity to inspire a child reader. Okay, Sherry, when you, and what you guys are going to be doing is identifying any two characters. It could be characters.
Picture.
Yeah, in the picture. You see the picture, right, Cher?
I don't see it. No.
Oh. Sorry, I'm looking at it and you guys don't see it. Okay, now do you see it?
Yes.
Sorry, everyone. I thought you could see it. Any two characters. Maybe it's a character with its back to you and someone else. Maybe it's not the most obvious two. But whatever it is, you're going to first create a story. Then you're going to identify two characters and you're going to write a little script of dialogue between them. So this is what it looks like. Let's do this first, Cher. Let's have them first write the short story, then we'll get to the next part. And that's when you'll talk about character and voice and writing. And so the first thing we're going to do, everyone, is look at this picture. You're going to imagine you just turn the page of a children's book. This is the image on the page. And again, I've opened it up, so it doesn't have to, it could be a grown-up children's book, if you know what I mean. And you're just going to write the story, the short story that a child would be reading or a grown-up would be reading if they turn this page. This is not the part here. Don't include the dialogue. Just write the story that's happening in this image, but write it as narrative. Not there is a plate. There are some people, there is a table, there's juice in the cup. Not like a list, a real narrative of a story. And you're only going to get 3 minutes to do that. Cool? 3 minutes, write the story in real narrative, ready, set, write. I find it easiest to write for a child. Okay, go. 2 minutes. "25 seconds." Okay, wrap up your thoughts. That was 3 minutes. That was 3 minutes. You just can't hear my little timer. Okay, awesome. We're gonna hold on sharing that, and then I'm gonna show you the second part of the process, right? Now you're going to write, and Sherry's gonna chime in here for a while, a conversation between only 2 of the characters, any 2, about anything. Not necessarily what might seem so obvious, anything at all. Cool? Sherry, you write on Saturday Night Live. I know you wrote pretty much everything you ever said and did with no time at all. That's the other thing, guys. It's always timed writing for your students. Whatever you're doing, whether it's right brain or something else, don't give them open-ended writing. Write about your summer, how much do I have to write? For how many minutes? Do I have to fill the page? Blank paper anxiety is real. So always give them a timer and always give them a little less than they probably need. So they're still writing when the timer hits, and then you go, oh my God, look at you. You're total writers. I'm giving you another 30 seconds. Always reward them with extra writing time. You feeling me? So we're going to do that. But first, I'm going to stop sharing. Sherry, can you talk to everyone about your process, creating characters, hearing their voice? How do they, what do they want to say to each other and why? Like, what's your process when you come up with all this?
Well, I'll look at what a character looks like and I'll think, okay, what does that character sound like? And then I'll think of someone I know. And so much comes from what we've experienced and people that we've seen. And, that's how you come up with characters. I always think I'll watch somebody, I'm like, man, what a character. She is such a character. And then I'll exaggerate her. And if it's a guy, I think I just came, when I was growing up, I would watch TV or watch people. I was watching. I wasn't participating. For some reason, I was always felt like I kind of isolated myself, but I would love watching people and I would imitate them. So when I was like on SNL, I would, it was somebody that I knew, whether it was my grandmother or a neighborhood lady, or a little
Barbara
kid.
Walters.
Or a kid. Well, Barbara was already established.
Oh, right.
But if I was creating a character, and I used to think to myself, all my childhood, I used to watch people be, and in my adulthood, I get to be everyone I ever watched.
Oh, that's good, Cher.
So it's kind of like when I see a picture, the more exaggerated the characters look, the easier they are to write for. A lot of these, I'm looking at this thing and everybody looks pretty normal except for the bug. But, the more exaggerated the characters look, the more fun it is to write for them. So I immediately wanted to write for the bug.
Good, so you're gonna have to do that then.
Well, I was just really saying, like, what were they celebrating? I'm looking at this like a dinner that they're celebrating something, and it's always easier when you do give somebody a little bit of something, because when you give them nothing, it's almost too fast.
Well, with Right Brain, because all of them have already written a story based on what they see this scene is, because what we give them is the picture. The picture is what we give. So they've already done it. Some people think it's a celebration. Some people probably think, it's a birthday or it's a whatever. But I love, so that's the something, as opposed to just write a scene or create a character. And I like that you identify, of course, the bug is the craziest and most interesting. Just so you all know, this big curly mess of hair dead center with its back to us, that's me. I'm just telling you, the artist threw me in here. I'm just saying.
All right, then you know that she's doing all the talking right now. Nobody else.
Nice.
Wise.
Very funny. So Cher,
yeah,
when you do dialogue as opposed to a monologue, right? Two people talking, you got to come up with a voice for both, right? Because what we're going to do here, people, is you're going to write a little script, and then a few of you are going to read them out loud to us in two different voices. You're going to be brave, Jenny and Trisilla and Paula maybe, and you're going to give it different voices. So Cher, will you speak to that? The switching from voice to voice, and what is that? It doesn't have to be a talent. It's more like a willingness, right? To like stay open to hearing it or something. What would you say about it?
Well, let me see. When I do characters, like when I was in the Groundlings in the theater, I would go out and I would just put on a wig because it would inform me, or put on a piece of clothing, and that would inform me. There's got to be, it's something that informs what you're going to write about and where this person is coming from.
Right.
And
so here they could look at this, correct? And imagine putting themselves inside the character that's wearing this button-up shirt with a collar, or these pinchers, or like we want them to project themselves into this and become two of these characters, but still with the outside view of the writer.
Yeah, but I don't think any of these characters are really, exaggerated, except for the bug. And so it leaves it very open. But, I'm thinking there's a story standpoint and then the comedic standpoint. And I'm drawn to the kid that looks like he's talking. And it looks like,
with the glasses.
Yeah.
That's so funny. That's so funny. You see, like, I don't see him talking. I think he's like a gap, like he's like, that there's this, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
his
mouth is open. And I just kind of feel like, okay, he's got the floor. And what is he saying? And
so maybe you're going to write a conversation between him and the bug. Probably, right? Is that what you're going to do? Because you were drawn to the bug and him?
Yeah. I mean, I just look to what am I first drawn to? It looks like he's talking. So he's got the floor and he's looking at the bug. And what is this? And I'm just thinking, okay, this is the year is 2040. And this is
don't tell us yet, because you're going to write it and then share it with us. Yes, we're all going to write it.
Okay.
But I don't want you to tip. The point would be that everyone gets to decide for themselves what's happening, and your vision might be different from someone else's. So why don't we do that? Let's go into it, and then as soon as someone shares, or maybe you'll be willing to share both voices once you write it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Are you feeling me? Cool. So here's the thing, guys. Anyone here like when I look at it, the guy with the kid with the bushy hair and the two blonde girls on either side, I feel like they're having a conversation. Maybe there's food in their mouth, obviously. And so when they talk, like when I do it, I would have them maybe with food in their mouth, but any people here, any people, characters, bugs can be in conversation, even if their mouth isn't open, because it's a children's book and anything's possible in a children's book. And because it's not animated and moving, we have to, your kids and you are going to imagine anything you want is
And the
possible.
kids are probably going to take from their own family. And that's, you know what I mean? They're going to take from, they're going to look at this picture and it's kind of like, all right, they'll take from their own experience, you know, of sitting around a table. And what happens? Sometimes you're like, okay, the parents are going to start to go at it. They're going to start fighting.
Exactly.
Or something like that. Or, you know, so-and-so is given the bug food under the table.
Exactly.
You
I
know.
love it. All right. So let's all pick only 2 characters. Does anyone have any questions, any things you want to ask for clarification? You're going to pick 2 characters and you're going to get 4 minutes. And then I'll give you an extra minute to write a scene. So let's say you decide one of the characters is named Bob and one is named Belinda, whatever. Bob, colon, blah, 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 blah. Belinda, colon, blah, blah. Dialogue, yeah? Dialogue? Are you ready? 4 minutes. I'm not going to give you 5. I'll give you 3 and then an additional. 4 minutes, dialogue between 2 characters, ready, set, write. One minute, and then I'll give you another minute. So 2 minutes. Okay, 1 more minute. All right, close up your thoughts. Does anyone want 30 more seconds? Wave your little hands if you want 30 more seconds. Okay, good, we're good. Amazing. All right, so Sherry, I hesitate to have you go first because yours is going to be like next level.
Honey, it
Fantastic.
isn't going to be, don't do that.
Okay, you go first. It's all right.
All right.
Go ahead. You want to go first? Which do you
Sure.
want to tell us who you picked? Let's read it and we'll guess.
The kid with the glasses and the bug.
Nice.
Okay, the year is 2040 and this modern family is celebrating Dante's 11th birthday. Dante is telling Tick, their newly adopted alien, that he doesn't need to eat so fast because the food isn't going anywhere. But Tick says, where I'm from, we're only allowed 5 minutes to eat, and then it's back to work. Where Dante replies, you're with us now, and you can take your time eating as long as you eat everything that is on your plate. But there's one rule that we have here. You must save room for cake. Where Tick replies, cake! I love this place!
I'm making t-shirts for everyone that's going to say, cake, I love this place. Okay, amazing. And we give her some love. We give her some, you can't see, all these people are there and they're for any number of reasons, Cher, they can't always turn their cameras on, or they're in a classroom, or they're in an office with other people, but they're here. And if you can see the chat box, you'll see that they're there.
Or they just don't want to brush their hair, and I understand that.
Yeah, exactly. Does anyone else want to share the story you wrote, followed by the dialogue, or put the dialogue in as Sherry did wherever you want? Jenny, what do you got? Jenny Pimentel, right? Hi, Jenny.
Hi.
See you, girl.
Hi, Jenny.
Hi. All right, so I actually did the same two characters, but my story is a little different. So I'm going to read my story and then go into it. So it was dinner time at our house. My mother decided to invite the new neighbors. They just moved in. And from what I hear, they came from another planet. What do people from other planets eat? I hope my mom asked. We had to pull out the big table from the garage because our kitchen table isn't big enough for all of us. I hope my brother behaves because he can be a loud, messy eater and no one likes that. So the boy's name is Reggie. And the alien, her name is a sound, so we call her Martha. So the boy says, so how are you liking it here in Virginia Beach? Martha says, it's not so bad. Really hot, though. You know, that's not your plate, right, Martha? That's for everyone. Oh, well, I really don't like the white stuff. Oh, you mean the rice? Yeah, rice. It's sticky and has no taste, but these balls are delicious. Those are fruit, not balls. And I guess you don't use a fork? Fork? Do you see these pinches? They do the job just fine. Back off, Reggie.
Wow. Jenny, Dakota Diggs is particular. Michael Nicholson is giving you like some sort of groovy dance move. Yes,
the alien that came for dinner.
Came for dinner.
And wait a minute, the alien is wearing a bow. She dressed up.
She dressed
She's
up.
fancy.
Oh.
She's a fancy alien. She knew it was
She's a
dinner. It was her dinner bow. Her
But
dinner
I
bow.
want to say, Jenny, you win. This is the first webinar ever where someone wrote about balls. So thank you, Jenny. Thank you. Thank you for bringing it. Thank you for bringing the balls. Speaking of balls, Michael Nicholson, are you going to unmute and share with us, Mr. Michael? Your story. And don't forget.
Yes. What?
Like Jenny, different voices for the two different characters.
I know, I hear that. All right. So I actually picked the same characters. So this is what family dinners look like. But tonight is different because Dad allowed Pincher, my alien pet, to eat with us. I have to watch her carefully and make sure she minds her manners and not eat too fast. Slow down, Pinchy. You'll be finished before we even start. Fortunately, I know alien bug language. She said, I'm sorry, Johnny, just so hungry. Well, take your time or Dad might change his mind next time. You got it, amigo. Sorry again. I ate too fast.
Michael, if there are any people around
Great
you,
character voice.
really good, right?
My coworkers all heard me actually doing that, so they're all laughing.
Hey, but you know what? And Cher, I want to say, and to you, Michael, that's the point. Joy, laughter. With all of this, it's so hard to, even though this is not, and that was on purpose, by the way, a lot of you have seen our images. We purposely picked one where the characters were not outrageous and aliens so that the narrative writing of dialogue didn't have to be necessarily too exaggerated if you didn't want it to be. But I love that in just that tiny little thing you did, which total first part, second part took you about 7 or 8 minutes, everyone in your office was laughing. And that's what happens in a classroom. And that's what happens in a staff meeting. And if you did this in a staff meeting, if everybody did just this, and this whole thing took half hour before your meeting, what a great way to start. What a great way to start the week, right? And for your students. So I just want to thank you for doing that, Michael, and going all in and being so crazy. Who else wants to do it? And Sherry, anytime you chime in with anything or can affirm for someone why, like what I love, Michael, the voices were so different that you would not have had to say their names as you went on if you just changed the voices, do you know? So I really appreciated that. Who else wants to go? I want to hear from Dakota Dix. What do you think, Dakota? Don't shake your head. You're
Dakota, come on.
Dakota. Dix. That's not right. Okay, Dakota. Yeah. Wow. I can't. I don't know who's on here, but there's such a joke brewing in me right now. Dakota, what do you got?
Balls to Dick, so knock it off.
There. Oh, good. You said it, not me. Paula, she said it, not me. She said it, not me.
I'm going to pass it next week, if that's all right.
Wait, you're going to pass? All right. Who's going to do it? Amy Jackson, are you ready? I know you got it, Amy Jackson. She's doing it. She's doing it.
Hey, Meredith, can you do it to where I can see everybody?
Yeah, Paula, are you on speaker view, Sherry? Oh, she has no voice. Amy, you have no unmute? Can we unmute Amy Jackson, Paula? Do you know how to do that, or does she have to do it herself?
I can only ask her to unmute, but she has
She has no voice. No worries, no worries. Lynn Lawson, you ready? Alicia Wilson, who wants to unmute and do it?
I am.
Yeah, Lynn Lawson, there you go.
Lena, so.
Lena,
the scenario is, it was a very different day at the gathering of the weekly neighborhood fellowship dinner. We had the usual meal of chicken and rice, but this was going to be a bit different because the Garcias brought along their giant pet purple pinching bug they adopted at the local shelter for wayward insects. So I also named my young person Reggie, and the bug is just Bug. So Reggie says, I'm so glad that Garcias rescued you from the shelter for wayward insects. I've never seen a real life giant purple pinch bug before. What language do you speak? And I'm not going to do voices. Well,
you're not going to do the voices, Lena.
I don't know. I can't.
Lena, you can. Just you're never going to see any of us again.
Well, the one people understand. Yes, I'm really lucky the Garcias adopted me, Reggie. I've never had it so good. Reggie, how did you end up in the insect shelter? Well, it's something I better not tell you, or I'll end up in the shelter again. But yeah.
Nice. Thank you for being brave and doing it. Here's what I love. Sherry, part of the thing that's cool about Right Brain or giving kids an image to write from, here are 3 people, you and these 2, who pick the same 2 characters, totally different conversations, the story about where they are and the setup totally different, because we're all perceiving from our, I know it's 11, but we can't stop yet, Elizabeth. So I love that. Did any 2 people, I did not pick them. Did anyone else choose any characters other than those 2? Which is why I didn't want to, I mean, it's obvious. She's, Chaniqua, go ahead. Chanqueta. Go, sweet woman. What do you got?
Okay. So so I'll read the monologue, and then I chose the 2 people sitting, to the left and the right of you, Meredith. Okay.
Oh, got it. My character.
Okay. All right. I'm so hungry, and this food is amazing. After my long day, I longed for a hearty meal, not to mention getting together with my family and friends to discuss the upcoming Labor Day event. This year, a new food trucks will be there. A new food truck was supposed to be there. I hear there will be a fancy truck selling all things macaroni. One topping is even like a nacho dish with cheese, macaroni, and pulled steak. First character.
Okay. Chaniqua, now everybody's hungry.
Now everyone's hungry. Thank you, Chaniqua. Now she's going to do the dialogue part.
Okay. So Constance and Peril are my characters. So Constance says, I heard about the new food trucks. This year, I heard the mayor wanted to add a little oomph to the downtown celebration. And Peril says, it's about time. I can only stand so much of the same boring vendors. And Constance says, did your dad ever fix his guitar? Peril, yes, he's headlining the opening event. He's pumped but need to rehearse more. The rain has kept the band from practicing the new song, Stripes Rock from Mississippi.
Let me tell you what I love about that. I love that.
That is so completely different. I love that. That is like completely a different story going on.
Right?
That's a great imagination.
And that you wrote about stuff that's not seen is what I love, which is what your kids will do because they have that kind of imagination. I'm not going to read mine, but just know that I want to read it, but I won't, Elizabeth, because I know it's like 11:02. Can I read mine to you guys really fast?
Yes.
Elizabeth, can I? Okay. So here's what's funny. Because we did it in an order, I wrote the little story, and then the dialogue I don't know, you'll see in a children's book, I like that there's no wrong or right, and anything can be true. So the story I wrote, no one suspected the juice was a potion that triggered metamorphosis for anyone who sipped it. Ariana had sampled the libation before mom set it out for the full moon celebration. And then I wrote a conversation between the bushy-haired kid in the green shirt and the redhead with freckles next to him, right? And his name is Ralphie, and she's Patty because she reminds me of Patty from, Snoopy. Ralphie. So I'll give him a voice. I'm going to make him from like Brooklyn or something, Queens. So Patty, you doing a science fair this time? Why? You need a partner? You want to team up? You want a partner? Do you want to do it together? Oh, well, I kind of sort of already told Jackie I would do it with her. Well, I think you should tell Jackie to bug off. Get it? Shh. She's super sensitive about this bug thing, all right? That was last year's science fair gone wrong. Yes, so wrong. Although she does have really nice pinches, though. That's my stupid conversation.
Oh my God. So Ralphie's looking to make time with somebody and it's at this dinner.
Exactly.
Ralphie's not leaving this dinner alone.
He's not. Ralphie's getting lucky tonight.
He's hooking up.
Here's what I want to tell you guys. Step 1, you write the story, right? Your kids write the story. Step 2, they create a conversation on another page between 2 of the characters. With this image, you can, because one of the reasons we picked this image, there are many pairs that can happen. So maybe on Monday, they pick 2 characters. On Tuesday, they pick 2 more. By the time they're done on Friday, they would have like a whole script. And if there was a camera, they could cut to, and you could have them join in groups and actually do a play around a table where they each get in front of them their lines of dialogue. Are you feeling me? So that's one thought. Then they're going to put it all together to write a story that has the dialogue within it, which would become the full page of this children's book. Are you feeling me? And if they did multiple conversations over the course of a week, if they put it all together, and you don't have them do it on one big piece of paper at one time, it's too much. So if they do it, give them a 5x7 index card or just a little piece of just one sheet. This is today, this is the next day. When they look at all of it on Friday and they can't believe how much they wrote, and then they put it all together. This is how a real writer writes, right, Cher? You don't just—
Yeah, you're actually teaching them how to write. Like when I meet people and they say to me, oh, I'm not a writer. And I always say to them, you know, no one's born, you know, like I started writing because I had to in this class. I was scared half to death. I had to write something for 1 minute based on something that I saw. You learn to write. And the more you write, the more you know how to write. It really is. It's not like you're just born writing. It's a wonderful learned skill. And this is how you teach kids how to write and then want to write. It's awesome.
Do you want a job at Right Brain, Cher? That's basically the pitch.
It's like these kids don't know how wonderful writing can be until you do it like this. And then they get excited and they get charged. And it's like, you're teaching a child how to write at such a young age. And I just think this is wonderful.
Thank you, Cher.
Yeah.
And Cher, we're in a time where kids, it's not even necessarily, it's about writing anything, right? They don't write, Sherry. They don't hold pencils. They don't hold pens. They swipe, they scroll, they type. We've met 12-year-olds who do not know how to write their name as a signature. They don't print, they don't handwrite. It's a time when a lot of schools have gone digital. We have to find ways to get the kids writing. Ideally first, also the brain is triggered in very different ways when we write with a pen or pencil than when we type. My brain sometimes goes a little too fast for my handwriting. But I know that when I handwrite, it's very different. And you write long form on paper too, don't you, Cher, sometimes before you go?
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm doing the typing, but what I also think is really important about this is the emotional aspect, because they're going to take from their own life experience. And kids sometimes, when something's not going right, they don't have an outlet and they don't know. And then I'm telling you, if they're writing something about their home life or they're in, you can, as a teacher, like see what's going on in their world with how they write, how they were to write a scenario. And then it's kind of like, oh my God, this is an actual outlet.
Exactly. I love that. And when you create something, doesn't it give you such, you're not a kid anymore, Cher, but I know when you create something and it's met with a positive response, you feel amazing. Your self-esteem is boosted. You feel awesome. Kids need every reason right now. They need every opportunity.
And that encouragement for these kids, it really does give them confidence, because it's not about writing the perfect thing. It isn't at all. It is about writing from their heart and their experience. And then when everybody claps or everybody shares or they laugh or anything like that, then they automatically connect it to everybody.
Exactly.
And this is how they learn to connect.
Exactly. And maybe when you do this with them, they don't need to give the characters voices at first. Let them just read it, or have them sit with a partner. This partner is going to read their scene with them, and then they'll read their scene with them. They're partners. Much easier if they do it together. But so they can do this in pairs or do it individually, but they should always read it together at first.
Yes. And then there's a lot of kids that are like too shy. Oh, I don't want to read. Oh, I don't want to do a voice character. Oh, and then when they see other people doing it, then it's like, oh, okay. They just needed kind of like permission you know, and we do it as adults. No, I don't want to do a voice. No, you know, and then it's kind of like, once they do, I almost feel so much better that they did it. You know, when you don't want to do something, when you feel self-conscious, or you're like, oh, I can't do that. And then you see somebody else do it, and it's like, all right, I'll do it. You know what I mean?
And also we tell people all the time, let's say one of your students writes something with a right brain image or anything, and they don't want to read it. You could say, would it be all right with you if Carlos reads it? Yeah. When you hear when a child hears their peer read their words,
yes,
they will stand tall. It feels really good.
Yeah.
And sometimes they know they could have done it better.
I just
and
got
that's when they're
chills.
like,
I just got chills because when someone reads my words, I can't believe the power that you feel.
Yeah.
You know, and I can just imagine someone, it just gives it like some kind of power when someone else is reading your words. It's like, wow.
I did that.
I did that. Yeah.
I know, it's really great. I love everything that just happened here. And I hate how short these are, but I know you all have to go. I will always be the last one here. So unless Paula and Elizabeth click me off, but everyone should just unmute. This would be the moment to unmute, ask anything of CHERI, of me, say anything, feedback. Maybe Priscilla just has a fun thought because she's got a big smile on her face. Maybe, you know what I mean? Anyone just unmute. Donna, what do you got?
I'm here.
I know, but you unmuted. Did you want to say something?
Well, I was just going to say hi, but no, I've been teaching my 8th grade ELA class. I am deployed. So I'm here though to support anybody, any questions anybody has. I can possibly help also. I'll be here for a few more minutes.
Donna she is like one of the people in Miami-Dade. She finds curriculum for their middle and high school English learners, of which they have tens of thousands. And so she found Right Brain. We partnered with Miami-Dade with their high schoolers and middle schoolers who all wrote children's books. It was just off the chain incredible. They had events, they did all kinds of stuff. So, but I want to know, does anyone have any fun reflection about the activity, about the experience, and about CHERI or about anything that—
Any questions? I'll answer any questions.
Yeah, I got one actually.
So can I just interrupt? I just want to say thank you first to everyone, and then we can do the sort of Q&A. Everybody who has to jump off, thank you so much for your time. CHERI, you are welcome anytime to participate in our webinars. This was such a wonderful, Meredith, yet another wonderful webinar. It's so important that kids understand writing's a process and it doesn't have to be perfect the first time, that, they revisit their work, that all of our students have a voice. This kind of stuff takes the pressure off from them. It's not a grade. It's something that they're doing from their own experience, from their heart. So, I think this is just such a wonderful thing to do.
I wish I had this as a kid,
Oh, you would. Can you imagine, Cher?
So thank you again. And if you would just fill out the surveys, please join us at the conference. Meredith will be there. CHERI, you're invited.
Listen, guys, let me just pitch the conference for a second. We do about 27 to 30 conferences a year pre-COVID, and now we're back. It's crazy conference time. There's no national company or state program that puts a conference on like Foundation. The Beyond After School Conference, Beyond School Hours, is as good as it gets. The sessions are as good as they get. The food's as good as it gets. And we party, and it's with purpose and passion, and you really leave elevated and different with so many resources that you can take home, some physical, some felt. So just tell your people you need to go, you want to go, and just go, just come, sign up and go.
And Meredith is our grand finale this year. So she's gonna end the conference.
I'm closing it up. CHERI doesn't know I'm going to invite her to come close it with me, but we'll see. We'll see if she's free. So go if you can. Anyone, unmute. What do you got, Michael? Michael Nichols.
Yeah, I was going to ask CHERI. Once again, Meredith, awesome. This was a great time. I love this. CHERI, what was your favorite character to play on SNL that you could always do? Like you wanted to do it like every day?
It's not like one of my most famous characters, but I would say the talk show host, Cass Van Ryan, Morning Latte, because I just, it cracked me up how ill-informed she was, yet confident. You
Can
know,
I don't want to do this. I don't want to say to you, can you do a little cast? But
but I just, it made me laugh, and it was so much easier because all I had to do was sit there, let alone do a cheer or be by myself like the prescription drug lady. That, you know, I like doing that, even though it's not funny. I know prescription drugs, it's not funny to be, but I took that character from a family member when I was growing up, who, you know, back in the 70s, people took prescription pills. They put them in a beautiful display case. It was, you know, it wasn't like a bad thing. And I would say to this person, can I hold your pill box? Because it was so beautiful. And it was just like this person that was just taking too many prescriptions or whatever. But yeah, I think Cass Van Ryan, the talk show, because I just love that she knew nothing and was yet so.
Anybody, I love that. Anybody else?
I wanted to, well, I guess this is more for me than anything, but I'm a huge fan of yours, and I grew up watching you and your personality and your energy. Like, I really kind of took that. And it's kind of funny because we watched an old clip.
Oh, she cut out. I can't hear her.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Okay. So we were watching an old clip of you, and my son and my oldest daughter were like, oh my God, that is so you. That's how you act in after school programs. And it was so funny. And I'm like, I've made it. I've become CHERI. It's awesome. I just love your personality. And I like it because when I go into programs and you become this, like, not crazy, but like fun and kooky kind of person, like it really makes kids feel at home to be themselves, and it makes them smile. And at the end of the day, that's what we want. So it's an honor to even see you.
I think when you act like that, it gives kids the license to be who they are, because everybody thinks, oh, I want to be cool, or you know what I mean. But when someone comes in and they are just who they are unabashedly, it gives them permission, you know. So when you go in there and you're just whatever, you have your high energy and your personality, it really is. It's almost like making them know that they're okay however they are. The weirder you are, the better they feel about themselves. Eyes on the road. Eyes on the road.
Eyes on the road. That's hilarious. And all of a sudden, Ashley's like, I want to say to you, CHERI, what you just said to Ashley, that's what you do for all of us when you walk in a room. What you just said to her, when you walk in and you're fun and awesome and weird and alive and great, making everyone feel so fun, and you're always telling people how adorable they are, how gorgeous they are, how great they are. You do for us what she just expressed Ashley does for her students. That's what it's like when you walk in a room. I'm just telling you. So
that's very sweet of you, Mare. I
well,
mean,
and it's transferable, but it's transferable. So for Ashley to say that the way the essence of you inspires who she, sometimes, guys, am I right? Now more than ever, we are faking it till we make it. This was we are post. We all know what happened for all of education in these crazy last few years. Even now, start of school, we all know what's going on in the background. You got to show up, and the kids can't feel your anxiety. The kids can't feel that ridiculous meeting you just had where you were told what the district adopted, even though you already told them you don't want it because the kids hate it and the teachers weren't trained. The kids can't smell that on you. So you got to fake it till you make it. And I love that CHERI quite literally, specifically inspires Ashley with the essence that she can bring to her program.
I am honored for you to be doing. My niece is a teacher, and I am telling you, she was telling me what one of her first jobs, she was in a really, really dangerous neighborhood, and the kids were saying F you to her. I mean, these are kids. And I said, gosh, what is that like for you? And she goes, she had nothing but compassion for them. She didn't take it personal. She's like, I know it isn't. They're angry. They're not coming from a place where they're being fed and seen. And I was like, wow, that makes you the most amazing teacher, because I did not think you were going to say that to me.
Yeah. And share all these people, most of these people, I mean, I can't see because their faces aren't here, so I can't see them wave. Foundations, this is like most of these people are working in after school education, where most, not some, most of the kids have those very same issues. Either, one parent at home, no parents at home, parents with 20 jobs, not all the food they need, definitely not the academic support they probably need. And because of the way the education system is sort of, dare I say, designed, I say that because no matter how much innovation comes in and how many people come in to shake it up and disrupt it and change it or make it better, and I know half of you have gone to bat for certain things you want, and you've been told no, for no reason other than it's just not what is. And these are the kids from whom the least is expected, CHERI. And I'm telling you, in after school, and certainly with our stuff, because we've seen it, that's all I can speak to, the kids from whom the least is expected, the most is revealed. Like, it's really amazing when they're given an opportunity to have a voice and to matter in their academic processes.
Yeah,
it's really something what happened.
I would say as a kid, I wasn't all over the place and funny. I felt invisible. I was so starved of attention. And it's kind of like a lot of people become comedians from a dark place, from not being seen, from, just living in their imagination because they don't know how to connect. And when a teacher paid attention to me, it was like a release of endorphins. It was so needed. It was so needed when a teacher said, Cheri, what do you think? Or something like that. I would immediately be scared half to death. But being singled out in a positive way of what do you think, or what Cheri said was really interesting, and you're just like, the endorphins are released. And I just think of the power that teachers have to make a kid who feels like nothing, who feels so unseen and insecure and scared shitless, the power that a teacher has.
She said it, not me.
To pay attention to them is, it is so important. And I wish you guys were paid what you're worth.
I know, you know what? I say it on every webinar. And when I speak at conferences, or my rap songs have a lyric that you're overworked and underpaid. It's so true. Even if you have a big high pay, you got a big job and you're at 120 a year, you do the work of 25 people and it's enough to pay your bills and go on vacation, but it's nowhere near the commensurate with the value of what you give.
And I remember every teacher I ever had that ever made me feel good or seen. I can remember the ones that were on automatic and they just showed up themselves. They were showing up and they were going home, and they were like just doing it, but with no kind of, acknowledgement of the power that they had.
Isn't that true?
Right. And the power that you have is incredible for a kid who feels so unseen and unimportant. And that's why I love what you're doing. It's kind of like this creativity, because I wasn't a great learner either. I couldn't comprehend, and I just always felt dumb. But man, if I had this creative outlet, I could have sung,
I love that. I want to just say to all of you why we love after school so much. And in a perfect world, all of this sort of open-ended, I see you, let's go. They do it first, and the teaching about what they did comes after they did it. I suggest you turn your classroom, if you're in school, do it a little like after school sometimes, where let the kids engage first, let them have the project-based experience, let them do the experiential learning. And afterward, guess what you just did? You just did close looking, you identified characters, you created dialogue, you wrote about transitions between one scene to another. You like use all the big fancy academic talk after they've done it, because if you front load the moment, here's what you're about to do. You're going to be looking at a picture. You're going to identify some characters in the photo and first imagine where is the setting and what it's too much. The words of core curriculum and the words of a teacher often block the child's sense of well-being when they're learning if it comes first. If you let them do it first and tell them after what they did, I think you'll see that it, and that's why we love after school, because it disguises the learning and flips it on its head and twists it up like a,
Whenever I
like a
see a
cartwheel.
kid that is talking with such confidence, when I go to somebody's house and a kid comes up, hi, I just did that. I'm like, oh my God, this kid is loved. It is like, they are not censoring themselves at all. They're coming up to you, looking you in the eye, telling you about themselves and what they love. You know what I mean? And then I always see the kid that is in the background, that is not talking, that is like afraid to say something and or whatever. And it's just kind of like you guys as teachers, you get to grab those kids and say, you know, ask them about themselves. When any teacher paid attention to me in a nice way, I grew up in a Catholic school and these nuns were rough. I mean, it was like it was rough. And, you know, all we were taught about were sins, you know. Now, don't forget to write about your sins. All right. Have a great day. You know, our world was all around mortal sin, venial sin, what sin? And it's like, scared, and I left scared. But
how I sinned over my summer vacation.
Sinned over my summer vacation.
Also, Sherry, a lot of these people, and there were more, of course, 3 times this, they are after school program directors, coordinators. Some of these people, a lot of these people oversee the educators or facilitators that work with the actual kids. So it starts with you. And you know what I mean? Like not, so that's why I want to tell you everything you did today, or if you come to any of our webinars, you get stuff, use it with your teams. Because if you have a team meeting and then you just email this to everyone, they don't need to do it with you to know how to do it because we put the instructions in the slides. But when you're the program director or the program coordinator, the more of these free webinar things that you can use with them, then it starts to go like in a really yummy way, seep into the consciousness of all your facilitators and, you know, go with God, go with source.
And even as adults, we want to feel like kids. Like last night, that improv show, I was scared half to death, and I love being an adult and being scared half to death to go on stage. And the fear is I'm not going to do well. And like, wow, I actually have that feeling like a child. I'm being put on stage and I may not do well. And like last night, I was like, I didn't do so well. And, you know, I'm being hard on myself, but oh my God, I'm getting to be creative like a child as an adult. And I think it's kind of fun for the teachers too. You know what I mean? To like, I liked hearing people tell their stories, you know, even as adults, you know, because we want to play.
Last night, Sherry played in the big skit that ended the whole show. She played kind of a ghost, right? Like a dead child. You played a child who's like haunting this resort where all these women have come and they do various things. And by the end of it, she comes out with bad. Anyway, she massacres everyone at the party, but it was hilarious, right? You have to laugh, Casey. CHERI OTERI running around, crossing back and forth as this ghost child demon. It was so hysterical. Anyway, all of you, please feel free to click off. Thank you for staying. Sherry, thank you so much for just being your raw, authentic, honest self.
And for all the teachers, that are doing this. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, because you have so much power over these little kids, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you do. You should be paid a lot more.
I know. And if you have high schoolers, all of this is great for them. Just keep reminding your middle schoolers and high schoolers, if you use our Right Brain materials or these free things, you're always writing for a child, How do you want to inspire a child? What do you want to teach them? What's the feeling you want the child to leave with after they read your short story or your book? Remind them all the time who they're writing for, and that that's their audience, so that they don't think this is too cute for them. They're writing for children. Cool? Amazing. You better start clicking off, or we'll be here forever, people.
It was a pleasure.
Dakota, you have to share next time, man. You got to come next time and share.
I promise I will.
All right. Well, now that everyone's clicking off, Dakota, let's go. What do you got?
Next time.
Oh, man. All right. Almost had
I
my
promise next time. Hold me to it. The
how-
24th, I will be here. and
How
I
the kids who didn't want to share, and then when they did share, they felt so good.
I know, right?
Well, to be honest, I'll be completely honest with you. I really,
No, you went, what, where do you go?
to be honest, I really had to use the restroom like during the first time. I didn't know how long it was going to take. So like I sprinted to the restroom and I didn't have a ton. And then my director came in when we were actually doing the dialogue the second time. So I don't have a ton, but I will tell you kind of what I have. So it was like, as the family gathered, as they were eating on their family vacation, Doug the Bug said to Jared, who was the guy. So I did pick Doug the Bug, except gender neutral. It could be a guy or a girl. I put Doug the other one. Then I was like, well, that's a bug. So I was like, Doug the Bug works out well. And then so Jared was the guy sitting next to him, and then Doug the Bug was the bug. So it says, "Oh my God, you eat like such a slob. You need to learn some table manners." Yeah, and what would that be? Sorry, I bug you so much. Jared responds, "Well, first things first, you need to learn how to choose with your mouth closed." So Doug the Bug responded, "Easier said than done. Check out these big old chompers. They don't even fit in my mouth." Jared said, "Well, my food won't stay in there either if I got to watch you continue to eat." So then Doug the Bug said, "Well, if you can't accept it, I'm done and I'm leaving." And that's kind of all I had.
What do you mean that's all? That's a lot, man. Thank you, ladies. Look at you.
Glad you shared.
Oh my God. Rated, look at the two of you. What are you doing each other's hair? What's happening over there? A home salon? What's going on? Like facials? What's going on? Listen, thank you to whoever's still here. Go log off. Paula and Elizabeth, I know it went long.
It was great, Meredith. It was so good.
Right? And I purposely did not prep Sherry. I didn't want her to see everything beforehand because I didn't want her to overthink. It was perfect. It was perfect because in her basically saying, these are the two characters I would choose, lots of people did, and we got to see completely different, which was perfect. You can't write that, you know? Yeah. Thank you so much. I will find someone else special fun for the next one. I promise.
Woo! All right.
George Clooney, people.